Picture the darkest room you can. Now make it darker. Darker. Close your eyes and imagine the complete absence of light. Darkness so thick you can't see your own hand, and you can hear the emptiness. Now picture a tiny light far in the distance. Everything seems a lot brighter. We've been spending the last few weeks talking about the King, namely Jesus. Last week we talked a little bit about how Jesus chose his men, the disciples. Today we're going to talk about the kingdom and what we must do as subjects of the King. The kingdom I'm referring to is heaven, the eternal kingdom that Jesus reigns over in glory. We're subjects to that same kingdom, and we have an obligation to the King. It's our job to go out and take Jesus' love deep into this world. Last week we talked about part of that. Creating disciples and bringing other people into the kingdom is certainly one way to spread Jesus' love. But it doesn't have to be so complicated sometimes. Often, bringing Jesus' love into the world is just through example. Kindness and friendliness can project the love of Jesus and show the grace of his kingdom. Think of yourself like the light in that absolute darkness. In fact, I'll do you one better. Here's what Jesus said. Jesus did a lot of talking. The man had a lot to say. One of Jesus' most famous talks was the Sermon on the Mount, which was, where he made a sermon on a mountainside. We are going to look at a short passage from it. He was talking about salt and light. He said that we, his followers, are the salt of the earth. If that salt were to lose its saltiness, how would it ever be salty again? It's not good for anything anymore. He also said that we are the light of the world, a city on a hill that can't be hidden. He said that you don't light lamps to put them under bowls, you put them on stands so everyone can see. Then he said this, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." But what does that all mean? After all, we all know the human body is only 0.4% salt. Obviously. And I'm pretty sure we don't glow either. Well, my friends, take heart, because he doesn't mean it literally. Animated explanation incoming. What does salt do? Two things. Salt makes food taste good, and it also makes food last longer. So, how are we salt? Well, we're the salt of the world. That means that we make the world a better place, just like how salt makes food better. We also do the work of God to preserve people's souls. You know, send them to heaven by introducing them to Jesus. Just like how salt preserves food. With light, we're just what he said, a shining example for people to see. Remember how I talked about that dark room earlier? We're that light. In total darkness, a small light looks very bright. So together, we can make an example the entire world can see. But let's not forget the kingdom. Jesus ended his statement by saying that our good deeds would glorify our Father in heaven. In other words, we are projecting the kingdom to other people. Hopefully that makes a little more sense. The common thread here is that Jesus, the King, has given us a charge to project heaven, his kingdom, on earth. And we aren't going alone. Not only are there billions of other Christians around the world with the same mission as us, but the King helps us as well. We are empowered and enabled to be the salt and light that projects the kingdom of God for the entire world to see. You know what'll make the salt salty again? Make it play an online video game, especially a competitive one for like 7 hours. It'll get real salty real quick.